which Tom is a senior Scientologist. He's single-handedly saving the planet. That is the truth. I'm not trying to be funny. That is what we're told. That is what we're told. So if you say anything about him or do something like what Katie did, which was take her daughter and save her daughter's life, she's considered an enemy.
Because you gotta love it. It's great here.
I love the city. It's always a bit of an adjustment because in New York, no matter what, if someone's being nice to you or if they're being mean to you, they're yelling at you.
Katie Holmes just dropped some real talk about Tom Cruise and Scientology at 45, and people can't stop buzzing about it. Everyone's been whispering and wondering for years, but Katie's finally ready to spill on a chapter she kept locked down for over 10 years. Hollywood relationships get messy, but Tom and Katie, they went 0 to 100 real quick. First date made headlines, then boom. Public romance, engagement ring, baby announcement, and wedding bells, all in 18 months flat. Everything happened lightning fast. The relationship was explosive, over the top, and had everyone watching. But just like most relationships that burn too hot, it crashed hard. After they split, nobody knew the real story because everything stayed hidden behind PR statements and tight lips. Now, over a decade later, Katie's dropping bombs about her ex that got everyone's jaws on the floor. So what's the tea on how this power couple even got together, and what made it all blow up? Let's dive deep as Katie Holmes breaks her silence on Tom Cruise, Scientology, and the Hollywood romance that had the whole world shook. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' relationship remains one of Hollywood's wildest matchups ever. The age difference, the power dynamics, and how differently their careers were going had people side-eyeing from the jump. Tom was already a mega-famous movie star. His name meant blockbuster hits and Hollywood royalty. Anyone who knows movies knows Tom Cruise and what he built. His swagger, confidence, and ability to command the screen made him legendary. He started blowing up in the early 80s with Endless Love, then landed parts in Taps and The Outsiders, but Risky Business really shot him to the top, and he kept winning. Top Gun turned him into the ultimate Hollywood crush and secured his spot as an A-lister. When the 90s rolled around, Tom showed he had serious acting chops. He crushed it in A Few Good Men, Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, and The Wild Eyes Wide Shut, proving he could handle anything and becoming a total powerhouse. Katie Holmes was still hustling and making her name during this time. She got famous playing Joey Potter on Dawson's Creek, a show that made her a star. Movies like Disturbing Behavior and Go didn't blow up the same way, but she was grinding and making moves. Katie even admitted the gap was obvious. Back in July 2004, she told 17 magazine she looked up to Tom and actually dreamed about marrying him.
Yes, ma'am, the data on the MiG is inaccurate.
How's that, Lieutenant?
Well, I just happened to see a MiG-28. Sorry, Goose.
That dream was about to become reality, but things were going to get strange real fast. Jump to March 2005, and Katie's entire life changed overnight. She'd just called off her engagement to actor Chris Klein, and fans were stunned. In yet another 17 magazine chat, Katie played it cool but gave hints about why it ended, saying Chris Klein wasn't supportive enough of her career. That comment said everything. Things got even weirder when Katie got caught on camera stepping away during an interview for a secret phone call. Cameras caught her telling someone, "I love you," then she claimed it was her mother, but insiders weren't buying it. The moment created instant drama and got people asking serious questions. Just 1 month later, in April 2005, things got crazier when Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise showed up together publicly for the first time in Rome. Tom was collecting a Lifetime Achievement Award, but everyone was focused on this shocking new couple. The world stopped and couldn't believe how fast this was all happening. Wild theories exploded everywhere. Tons of people thought the romance was fake, especially since both had major movies dropping soon. Tom had War of the Worlds coming, and Katie had Batman Begins ready to go. People screamed PR stunt, and the tabloids went absolutely nuts with conspiracy theories.
Yeah, our family's gonna chill, and we're gonna, we like taking those times. I mean, that is a very special time, all these holidays.
Then came the moment that either silenced everyone or made things even louder. Tom's legendary Oprah Winfrey Show appearance. He completely skipped talking about his movie and only gushed about Katie. He praised her nonstop. Getting so emotional, he literally jumped on Oprah's couch screaming about love. The moment became pure pop culture madness. The clip blew up everywhere, and people couldn't process what they just witnessed. Later, comedian Seth Rogen claimed the moment got blown out of proportion, saying Tom told him, "The producers edited the footage to make him look more intense than he actually was." But the damage or the magic was already done. From that point on, Tom and Katie completely owned every headline. Their public displays of affection were constant and impossible to miss. They posed for cameras, kissed on command, and even redid romantic moments to make sure photographers got perfect shots. One famous photo showed Tom dramatically dipping Katie backward like something straight from a classic romance film. For Katie, this wasn't just another boyfriend. This was her childhood fantasy coming to life. She'd talked in old interviews about admiring Tom's elite circle, including director Steven Spielberg and actress Penelope Cruz. Katie also made it crystal clear she was ambitious and hungry to reach Hollywood's top tier. So when Tom proposed after only 2 months of dating, she said yes immediately. He popped the question at the top of the Eiffel Tower, making it pure spectacle. Tom announced the engagement at a Paris press conference where Katie showed off her massive diamond ring. Tom called the proposal magnificent, explaining that Paris and the Eiffel Tower symbolized their love and destiny together. Everything felt larger than life. Just 3 months later, in October 2005, they dropped even bigger news. They were having a baby.
And I was invited, because he was in Endless Love. Tom was the guy in Endless Love who convinces Martin Hewer to set the house on fire and then be the hero. So I've known him for decades.
Their spokesperson confirmed the pregnancy, saying the couple was thrilled about their first child arriving. In April 2006, their daughter Suri was born, and Tom was absolutely glowing. He described it as deeply spiritual, saying it was a moment he replayed over and over in his mind, holding their baby girl. From the outside, Tom and Katie looked unstoppable: fame, money, and a new family. But behind the bright smiles and photo ops, one major force loomed large in Tom's world. His deep ties to Scientology were quietly creating tension, and it was about to push their fairy tale relationship to a breaking point. After the whirlwind romance that brought Suri into their lives, Katie Holmes stepped fully into the spotlight as Tom Cruise's wife, and everyone was watching.
It's something that has helped me incredibly in my life.
Yeah.
And I've been a Scientologist for over 30 years,
Yeah.
and it's something that, as you know, without it, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
She wasn't just marrying a celebrity, she was tying herself to one of Hollywood's biggest power players, and the pressure hit instantly. On the surface, it looked like a storybook romance, but behind closed doors, things were way more complicated. A deep investigation by Vanity Fair later exposed the carefully calculated steps that led Katie to becoming Tom's wife. And right at the center was Tom's serious connection to the Church of Scientology, a topic that sparked controversy for years. After Tom split from Nicole Kidman and broke up with Penelope Cruz, reports claim the church decided to help him find a new partner. Several high-profile women were allegedly considered, including Sofia Vergara and Scarlett Johansson, but both reportedly backed out because of concerns about his beliefs. The search wasn't going smoothly. And by fall 2004, nothing was settled. The church then allegedly set Tom up with Nazanin Boniadi, a talented actress and committed Scientologist. That relationship crashed fast, and she eventually fell out of favor following a familiar pattern. But once Katie Holmes came into the picture, everything shifted immediately. After Katie openly expressed admiration for Tom in a 17 magazine interview, the connection was made just 7 months later. Katie later told the New York Times Style magazine that falling for Tom felt natural because she'd admired him for years, making the romance feel almost meant to be. Still, nothing about this situation was casual. The church closely watched Katie's involvement, reportedly assigning a Scientologist chaperone named Jessica Rodriguez to stay by her side constantly.
Tom is very well aware of what is Scientology, truthfully. He is very aware that it's an organization that defrauding people out of their lives.
Jessica went everywhere with Katie, especially during their European press tour promoting their summer films. Jessica's presence was impossible to ignore. She often answered questions for Katie during interviews, steering conversations away from sensitive topics. When reporters asked about public opinions on the relationship or Scientology, Jessica shut it down fast, making some interviewers think she was Katie's manager. That confusion only grew when Jessica revealed she was actually Katie's best friend, despite knowing her for only 6 weeks. That timeline matched exactly when Katie first met Tom, raising major red flags. Jessica came from a wealthy Bay Area Scientology family and was part of the elite Sea Org, making people question her real role. Not long after publicly saying she wasn't a Scientologist, Katie announced her conversion during an interview.
Father at the last stage last week came in, fired the security guards, fired the publicist, and had the papers filed and hired the attorneys. So it would be easy to speculate that he was involved and the family was.
The change sparked mixed reactions, especially since Jessica was right there hyping her up. Katie shared that she found Scientology exciting and said she was receiving spiritual counseling. Katie explained she was taking courses and insisted she felt comfortable identifying as both Catholic and Scientologist. When asked if she felt pressured, she defended Tom hard, calling him loving, generous, and kind, and saying he would never force anything on her. She described being with him as a privilege. All of this led to their massive wedding on November 18, 2006, in Italy. The ceremony happened inside a medieval castle with dramatic fireworks lighting up the night sky like pure fantasy, inside the stunning Odescalchi castle. Designer Giorgio Armani described the moment Katie walked down the aisle in her elegant off-the-shoulder gown as nothing short of beautiful, sealing a wedding that looked magical, even as questions quietly bubbled behind the scenes. The guest list alone showed just how huge this wedding really was. Major names packed the venue, including Jennifer Lopez, Mark Anthony, Brooke Shields, Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, Jim Carrey, and Jenny McCarthy. The ceremony itself included a 20-minute Scientology ritual, blended with traditional vows about love, honor, and resolving disagreements before going to sleep. Church leaders were there, including Tom's best man, David Miscavige, along with Tom's kids Isabella and Connor, and his sister Nancy. The celebration continued inside the castle's Grand Hall of the Caesars, where emotions ran deep.
Raising daughter Suri and navigating what Katie called an intense time following her 2012 divorce from Tom Cruise, she and Suri moved to New York City after the
Heartfelt toasts filled the room, and Katie shared a touching father-daughter dance to Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World." Then came the couple's first dance to Fleetwood Mac's Songbird, marking what looked like the perfect start of their next chapter together. But behind the magic and camera flashes, small cracks were already forming. Even as the wedding glow continued, whispers started surfacing that everything wasn't as perfect as it seemed. The fairy tale vibe started fading as reality hit hard. As time went on, reports of trouble quietly leaked out, leaving fans stunned. When Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes eventually split, many thought it came out of nowhere. But looking back, the warning signs were there all along. Things were clearly not as smooth as they looked. By 2010, the relationship had noticeably changed.
Rachel?
I'd heard you were back. What are you doing?
Just swimming. Wow.
Rumors about tension and distance started spreading even as Katie publicly painted a happy picture. In an interview with Marie Claire, she described her life as incredible and said she felt lucky to be Tom's wife. But behind those polished words was a reality nobody fully understood yet. Just 2 years later, the marriage would be finished. Was Katie already sensing the end? Did she quietly prepare while keeping her public image calm and put together? The timeline raises serious questions. One early moment that caught attention happened months before their daughter Suri was born. Tom shocked viewers during a Barbara Walters special when he revealed he'd purchased a sonogram machine for personal use before donating it to a hospital. That statement immediately raised eyebrows. Medical professionals voiced concerns, explaining that non-medical use of such equipment wasn't standard practice. The FDA even issued warnings, emphasizing that private use of sonogram machines violated regulations. The situation added another layer of controversy to Tom's unconventional approach to family life. More questions came up later when actress Leah Remini, a former Scientology member, shared an unusual moment from the wedding. In her memoir, she described walking into a bathroom and seeing several women, including Tom's sister and an assistant, standing near baby Suri during a tense moment. Leah wrote that the tone being used felt surprising and inappropriate for a child, leaving her deeply unsettled. The experience stuck with her and added to the growing sense that life inside this high-profile world followed very different rules. Taken together, these moments revealed a strange and consistent pattern across Tom Cruise's marriages. Intense control, unusual boundaries, and controversy seemed to repeat themselves, raising serious questions about what really happened behind closed doors. People started noticing a bizarre pattern in Tom Cruise's marriages, and gossip columnist Perez Hilton was quick to call it out. According to him, things seemed to end when his wives turned 33, a number some linked to Scientology history. The Hubbard Association of Scientologists was founded in Phoenix, Arizona, which sits on the 33rd parallel. And as Katie approached her 33rd birthday in 2012, many outsiders quietly expected a divorce announcement. Behind the scenes, Katie wasn't sitting around waiting. As pressure mounted, she reportedly hired 3 different law firms across separate states to prepare for a possible split. To stay under the radar, she used a burner phone given by a trusted friend to communicate discreetly with her lawyers, keeping everything locked down and private. One of the most surprising twists was the prenup. It was reportedly drafted by Katie's father, who's a lawyer, and insiders say it was incredibly detailed. While the exact terms were never released, Vanity Fair claimed the agreement filled 5 full banker boxes, signaling just how much planning went into it. Reports about the financial details varied. The Mirror claimed Katie negotiated a figure just over $50 million for herself and Suri. while TMZ reported that there was no lump sum payout at all. Instead, documents allegedly showed Katie would receive $400,000 per year in child support, plus full coverage for Suri's medical care, education, insurance, college, and extracurricular activities. What's undeniable is that the prenup made the divorce shockingly fast. The entire process wrapped up in just 11 days, almost unheard of for a split this high profile. Some speculated that Katie's father anticipated the marriage wouldn't last and designed a deal that protected his daughter and granddaughter while making it easy for Tom to walk away. Whether that theory is true or not, the result was a smooth, quiet divorce by Hollywood standards. There were no public courtroom battles, no drawn-out child support negotiations, and no explosive statements tossed around in the media. Katie later released a statement saying the divorce was a private matter and that her priority was Suri's well-being. Tom's representative also responded, expressing sadness over the split and emphasizing that Tom remained focused on his children and requested privacy for everyone involved. They also made it clear that Tom was committed to co-parenting and supporting Suri as she grew up under public attention, surrounded by family support. After all the highs, lows, and downright bizarre moments, fans were left wondering what happened next for this once unstoppable couple. You might expect Katie to be heartbroken after ending a marriage to someone she once dreamed of marrying, but was she? Katie stayed incredibly private throughout the divorce, keeping her emotions guarded. But her story didn't stop there because love found her again, right back in Hollywood. Years later, things took a new turn when Katie Holmes and Jamie Foxx subtly confirmed their relationship. Rumors claimed they'd been dating quietly for nearly 4 years before going public, a reveal that happened just after the 5th anniversary of her split from Tom Cruise. TMZ later reported that Tom had enforced a strict agreement preventing Katie from publicly discussing their marriage or openly dating for 5 years. A source told Radar Online in 2016 that while Katie was allowed to date, she couldn't do so publicly, and no partners were allowed around Suri during that time, adding one last layer of control to an already intense chapter. In exchange for sticking to that reported clause, Katie allegedly received about $3.6 million in child support and another $3.8 million for herself. And from the outside, it looks like she played by the rules. After the divorce, she kept things extremely low-key, especially when it came to her relationship with Oscar winner Jamie Foxx, which stayed completely under wraps after they connected at a charity gala in New York in August 2013. What makes it even wilder is that Katie and Jamie had actually met years earlier. Their first introduction reportedly happened 7 years before they started dating, when Tom himself introduced them at a football game. Jamie was considered Tom's friend at the time, especially after they bonded while filming Collateral, making the situation feel almost ironic. Sources claimed Katie was so serious about staying discreet that she wore wigs and hats during private hotel meetups with Jamie. Jamie fully respected her need for privacy and consistently shut down rumors, telling anyone who asked that they were just friends, even as whispers kept getting louder. By 2015, their secret nearly slipped. Katie was spotted at Jamie's surprise birthday party at Lavo in New York, and an insider said she was clearly smitten. Even after photos surfaced showing them holding hands at a recording studio, Jamie stayed firm, repeating that they were nothing more than good friends. As for Katie's connection with Tom, it became almost non-existent. Since the divorce, the former couple has rarely spoken publicly about one another, and communication between them has reportedly been minimal. They moved on in completely separate worlds. In a reflective interview with InStyle, Katie opened up around the time she turned 41, sharing that many people don't truly understand themselves until they reach that stage of life. She said her experiences taught her that her feelings and instincts mattered, and she became determined to listen to herself instead of constantly deferring to others. Many readers saw those comments as a quiet reference to her past marriage. In the same interview, Katie talked about relocating to New York City after the divorce, describing it as overwhelming with intense public attention and the responsibility of caring for a young child in the spotlight. She shared that what truly helped her survive that period wasn't fame or privilege, but the kindness of strangers. One moment stood out deeply for her involving Suri when she was around 6 or 7 years old. Katie recalled attending a ballet at Lincoln Center while Suri spent the night at a friend's house. At around 10 p.m., Suri called asking to be picked up, and Katie rushed over without hesitation. Suri fell asleep on the ride home, and when they arrived, the cab driver quietly helped carry her inside so she wouldn't wake up, a small act that meant everything. Through all of this, Tom was noticeably absent from Katie's story. After the divorce, rumors have continued to swirl about his lack of presence in Suri's life, and the former power couple hasn't been photographed together in more than a decade. Recent reports have only added fuel to the speculation. According to a Daily Mail source, Tom has missed major milestones, including Suri's high school graduation and parts of the college application process, marking a dramatic shift from a family once constantly in the public eye. Since the sudden divorce in 2012, Tom Cruise has reportedly had little to no involvement in Suri's life. And that reality has raised non-stop questions. In 2013, Tom pushed back hard by filing a defamation lawsuit against Bauer Media after claims surfaced saying he'd abandoned his daughter. When asked directly whether Katie left him to protect Suri from Scientology, Tom brushed it off as an assumption, carefully avoiding any clear yes or no. But he did confirm one major detail that sent shockwaves through the public. Tom openly admitted that both Katie and Suri were no longer practicing Scientologists, but he insisted there was never any need to protect Suri from his faith. That statement only made the speculation louder. Those comments reignited rumors about a growing distance between Tom and his daughter. Critics pointed out that Scientology has strict views about people who leave the church, labeling them as suppressive persons and encouraging members to cut ties, a rule many believe played a role in what happened next. The fallout from Katie stepping away from both the marriage and the religion reportedly created a deep rift. Insiders claim that after the split, Tom and Suri's relationship became more distant with time, not closer. Over the years, sources have alleged that Tom hasn't been actively present in Suri's life, even during major milestones like planning for college. Despite that, their divorce agreement still requires him to cover her college tuition regardless of personal involvement. Once Suri turned 18, Tom was no longer required to pay the reported $400,000 per year in child support. However, the divorce documents clearly state that he must continue covering all expenses related to her care, including medical, dental, insurance, education, college costs, and extracurricular activities. A source told Daily Mail that Tom has always fulfilled his financial responsibilities to Katie and Suri. But the same source claimed he's chosen not to take on an active role in his daughter's everyday life, a decision that continues to spark debate. Through it all, Katie Holmes has remained a steady and deeply involved presence. She's raised Suri on her own since she was young, staying hands-on every step of the way. Insiders say Katie has been closely involved in college planning, encouraging Suri to explore schools across the country. Suri, who shares a strong bond with her mother, reportedly prefers staying in New York and has shown interest in pursuing fashion while remaining close to Katie. Their connection has remained unbreakable as Suri grows older. Katie is said to be navigating mixed emotions. She's proud, supportive, and loving, yet quietly emotional about how quickly time has passed and how their once inseparable dynamic is evolving. So now the big question remains. Was Scientology an unseen force that slowly pulled this Hollywood marriage apart? Or was it always destined to collapse under pressure? The debate is far from over. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you felt something real, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.